to see where I hit it.
Yeah.
Because he was standing right in front of my camera.
Gotcha.
But the camera never picked it up. So
So you were standing here.
I was sitting right there.
Yeah.
He was standing right. He was right here where he was at.
Hey, so you went that way?
Yeah.
Find it. Get to work. Find it.
This buck was shot with a bow at very close range in the guts. He tracked it at 2 hours, jumped it. I believe that's where he found the first gut matter in the bed. He waited another 6 hours, and he tracked it again, so 8 hours after the shot. And 8 hours later, he jumped the buck again. So I'm going to skip forward to where he jumped the buck.
He come through here.
Through here. Gotcha.
So there should be a big old pile of blood.
As you just heard the hunter say, we are coming up to a field, and he said there's a pretty good pile of blood up here and some gut matter. I believe this was the first bed that he jumped it out of. That is at roughly 300 to 400 yards from the shot location. If he would have waited 24 hours, I believe he would have found this buck in that first bed. Wait times really matter. So in this little crossing between the two fields was his last drop of blood. And up in this marsh right in front of us was where he jumped it for the very last time. So I was trying to put her a little further back from the last bed to make sure she's on the track. And we're looking for that blood here.
I literally looked down because I got to this point. I'm like, I see no blood, no blood.
Hey, find it. Find it.
So right here I just gave a directional because she was actually trying to go and backtrack the way the deer came, because instead of tracking through the field, we just kind of walked the edge to where we knew he lost it at. I know I had to get on my dog's nerves all last season with how impatient I am. Like, look at this stuff coming up right here. It's embarrassing, but just look at this.
Come on, find it. Get to work. Where'd he go? Well, there went two doe. Leave it. It's not your deer.
So after she yanked me trying to chase those doe, she kind of self-restarts herself and takes me back to that little patch between the two fields, and then does a few circles, and I do a kind of a soft restart, and she takes me right back the same direction here. I think from now on, when we jump a deer and she tries to take off after and gets hot, I think I will just downstay her for 10 or 15 minutes, give her a water break, kind of get her to calm down, and then go again.
Where'd he go? Find him. Leave it. Get to work. Leave it. Get to work. Let's go. Now. Come on.
Here I am just confusing my dog, telling her to leave it, and who knows, the injured deer could have went this way.
Okay. Find it. Get to work. Find it.
So we do a restart after a couple minutes of a downstay, and then immediately she goes back to where those does were and just kind of seems disinterested in the track. So I decide to start trying some handler tricks and kind of clover leaving her out.
Alright, I'm gonna start pushing you. We'll start doing circles and see if you alert on something. Come on, figure it out. Let's go. Yeah, I know. The does went that way. And you don't smell a scent you like. I'm aware.
I can hear my frustration in these videos. It sucks, but it's the truth. You can see how close I am to my dog, and I'm usually not. I'm basically just pushing her. She is not tracking any sense or form. Was not a fun track. She kind of took the beds out for a little while and then basically took the line where the does are, and I let her go down it.
I don't know why she is not taken to a line.
I don't like that I let her go down it, but as a new handler and not sure what to do, I didn't know what else to do, and it was the first time she showed me tracking behavior in a while, so
that's why I'm letting her follow this does for a little while. And I need to get it out of her system. So we'll go this way for a few hundred yards. That's this morning.
What's that?
That scrape right down the tree.
Oh.
You can see a huge difference in her behavior from the beginning of the track till now, though, can't you?
Yep.
That's what I was saying. She's not locked on like I like her to be. Yeah, it's a squirrel. I see it.
So here in a second, my dog stops and puts her head up and is looking, and I think that because my dog stopped and his head is up and is looking, that she's on his doe again, which my dog does this all the time, so that's not a valid reason to think she's on these doe. And I pull her off the track, and when I pull her off the track and I'm pulling her back, she alerts, which then I start to follow her again.
Yeah, she's on this doe. Alright, that's enough. Leave it. We'll go back, reset her one more time. If she don't take, we'll start pushing her circles and see if she alerts on the line. Come on.
Now, let me ask you this.
Come on.
That one trail that come across right there by the Milo field.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't know. I know we got blood coming across this way.
That's an alert. That's what we look for when we do circles. So you saying the Milos?
Well, whenever we was coming by that Milo field over there.
Yeah.
Granted, like I said, we know he come across that creek.
Yeah.
But I was curious on that alert she got when we was walking down beside that.
Why didn't I throw paper there? Why didn't I have the hunter and me check for blood in, let's say, a 5 to 7 yard circle from that spot she alerted? There's so many things I could have done better on this track.
That's the behavior I want to see right there. Not saying that she's on your deer, but I'd love to see some blood right now. I'll follow you to 8. I'll follow you 2 miles. You show me that behavior. Yeah, that's a squirrel. Leave it.
Once she got hot on that squirrel, I guess I started thinking that she was tracking a squirrel and not the doe, and decided to restart her again at his last blood.
Come on.
So on the way back to the field, he was telling me how they have searched all in there, and it was majorly grid searched also. And then when we hit the field, I decided to kind of push her down the edge of the field that we haven't been yet to see if she shows any alerts.
Go that way a little bit, see if you show me anything.
Okay, so I went to here and turned around yesterday.
Okay.
But no, actually I didn't go any farther than that. I stopped right here.
Get to work. Find it. Let's go. Yeah. Explains why she went 10 more feet and stopped. Come on.
Now I can take you to this bed in this Milo field here, if that would make any, or you think that would help any.
If there's blood in it.
I don't think there was any blood in there.
There's a
There's footprint, but I don't know if it's the one she's looking for.
Yeah. Let's see if she hits on something.
Okay, up here's the
She's definitely alerting this way.
Huh?
She's alerting this way in this section right here. Which, I mean, would be a straight line.
Yeah.
I mean, she's alerting.
So walking to that bed that he was telling me about, my dog alerted on this section here, and probably within a 5-foot spot, alerted 2 or 3 spots.
She is tracking.
And then finally commits to a line going into the woods.
She's not
So I decided to
confident in it
follow
yet,
her.
but she is tracking. It's like 3 times she's brought me over here. Makes sense if your buck went by this dead one also, if he thought he was being tracked.
What was that?
It makes sense if your buck went by this dead animal, dead deer, if he thought he was being tracked. And she left it alone this time.
If my dog is interested, I'm interested. So I check out every alert.
She does like this area for sure. Yeah, there's that squirrel. I'm gonna grid in here a little bit with her just to get this area kind of covered, and then after that we'll come out of it and leave it alone.
On this track, my dog was easily distracted the entire time, and because of that, I was not confident in her tracking behavior. Even though I keep saying that she's not confident in the track, it's me not being confident in my dog's tracking behavior. Watching it now, I really think that this area was heavily gridded, and that it was making it hard for my dog. No excuses, just that's kind of what I think happened now.
Yeah. And fresh deer shit. We'll circle back towards that field. Come on. You should probably check that spot right there for blood, wherever she's standing. I doubt there is any, but that was an alert.
So I point out that she has an alert and that there's probably blood, and we don't check it. And I'm pulling my dog off when I said that she's been in this area multiple times. It just shows that I was not confident in her tracking behavior at all because we were coming up on so much fresh sign. There's just a lot of deer in the area, and I should have just trusted my dog.
Come on. Hey.
So I decided to pull her off of the line and take her back to that field and walk the edge of the field again. On the way back towards that field, she is basically pulling me and yanking me to the direction she was originally trying to go, to the left there. And I take mental note of it, but I keep pulling her back to that field.
She likes this deer trail a lot. Huh? She likes this way a lot. Just easy to distract with all these squirrels running around. Come on, let's go.
So she likes going that direction a lot, but instead of me letting her go that way, I pull her back to the field. I do not know why, but it's a lesson learned. Trust your dog.
Come on. Come on. Dog. There, but she's taking me right back in it again. Exact same spot. Yep, there's that tree. Yeah, look at that. That's the pressure.
Huh?
Yeah, no, I didn't let you go.
There's a pretty good sized hoof print right there. See if she locks onto that.
On the way to that bed he was telling you about, she alerts to the same exact trail that she's alerted to multiple times now. And we see these hoof prints. One is really big. This is a big buck we're tracking, so I mean there's a possibility there. And it's all in line with that bed. We take her to that bed. I let her do a few circles and searching. We don't really see anything, and then she starts to backtrack.
How far up did you find that blood up that path?
There's 5 blood here.
So I'm thinking she's backtracking. I think he came through here. He cut that way. He went up and he went right that way. For our last one ditch effort, if you want, we'll push her way back to that corner. See if she catches a line. That's why she's excited. You're finding blood clots. That's why she's all... He was in there for a while. That's that behavior I was looking at. Yeah, so he came this way. I mean, she's backtracking it. And he went that way. And he cut into those woods and went right, more than likely.
So I'm finally starting to piece together where I think the deer went based on more of how many times my dog's gone to the same area, not based off her tracking behavior. So I decide to kind of let her go back the way she's taken me multiple times, and I start to push her that way, even though she's already kind of taken me that way. This is the exact same spot. We've went into the woods multiple times, and she's just pulling me in there again. So, gonna follow her.
Yeah, and if your deer ran right past this dead deer, explain why all the tracks keep going here. Leave it! Come on. Keep pushing you. Leave it. Yeah, she's taking us on that same line again.
So this is kind of the spot where I pulled her off the last time and brought her back to the field, and she's still continuing to go kind of left in that direction. So basically from here on is all fresh ground, and her tracking behavior is better, but still not what I like to see. I like to see head down working behavior. Now looking at this being the morning and moisture on the ground, I wonder if the scent was just kind of coming up to her so she didn't have to put her nose to the ground to work so hard. But she starts really committing to the line here.
Yeah.
So I really start to like the behavior of how she's dedicated to going down a line. Heads up a little more than I like, but at least she's actually working now. We are roughly 1,300 yards from the hit site on the path we think the deer actually traveled. With all of our restarts and everything, I think we've done close to 3 to 4 miles so far on this track. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit just to save time on it, but this next probably 300 yards, she's just working great. So right here I stopped to kind of catch my breath, and I kind of put tension on the leash and to kind of wait for the hunter. And she is still pulling and wanting to go, which is a great sign that she likes what she's on. I like to see that.
Over here. I got blood.
Yeah. We'll let her keep going. I mean, I told you, I'm pretty sure she's on it.
So this is the first time that I have seen blood since we came into that first field around the 400-yard mark from the hit site. The second bed that he jumped the deer out of was around the 900-yard mark. We're about 1,500 yards now from the hit site, so it's 600 yards since they've lost it. So we've now progressed to track 600 yards. Not confident we're going to find this deer because this is actually one of my very early tracks in the season. And at that time, anytime a deer went over, 500 yards, 400 or 500 yards, we usually didn't find it. And this is in the middle of rut, and tracking a buck in rut, it's rough.
There's probably blood or gut matter right there. There's also deer tracks right down there.
There's what?
Deer tracks. Where something walked the water. Come on. This is they go up and down right here. I wonder if he dropped down the water right there.
So you see that property marker line right in front of us. We didn't have permission to go across that, and it's basically on the right side of the creek only, forward. My dog starts to circle right here actually, and then drops down into the creek. But we really didn't want to go too much far forward because we didn't have permission. He knew the owner, he knew the guy who owns the property, but we did not get permission this far yet.
Massive drop.
Yeah.
Right when she drops into this creek here, I could see her winding something, and then the moment she drops in, she starts getting hot and trying to yank me to the other side, and we have permission on the other side. We just can't go to the right too much farther because there is another property line right there. So we're really limited on how much further we can go.
That's what she's on. Yeah, that's what she's on right here. Yeah, man, I think we're probably gonna call it.
We come up on this dead turkey right here. It was pretty fresh, I'd say. A couple weeks, maybe a month. And I decided to call the track. In front of us here, about 5 feet or so, is the property line, and we can't really go any further.
I'm pretty confident your deer probably did cross over here.
To the left, we could go a little ways, but again, I mean, probably less than, 60, 70 yards before we hit the next property line on that way to we're kind of at the corner here. But I do tell the hunter it's worth getting permission and following this creek on the left and right side and kind of grid searching it for another few hundred yards, because she has been consistently pulling me this way, and I fully think she is tracking this deer. So I go ahead and call it there. He takes a couple of days to get permission, and then once he gets permission, he tells me that we stopped 10 feet short. The deer is actually in this video behind one of the fallen trees, behind it, so we're about 10 feet from the deer right now as we're standing. And here's those pictures to that deer. Please subscribe, guys. I really would appreciate it. It'd really help the channel out a lot.